Good morning, everybody. My name is pianomattyb. This is your morning TA. And that is Scaramucci. And this is your morning TA. A brief glimpse into the crypto markets where the sun's shining, where the wind's blowing. All the humble opinion of this front stoop porch in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Morning, everybody. Joe Blow 2, Storm Chasing Video, pianomattyb OG. Thanks, Storm Chasing Video. Bobby Freeman, Terry Crow in Kansas. Brendan, Richard Craw is in the Netherlands. Terry Rooster, North Carolina. Crypto Code 88. Wake Up Waverly in New York City. Christopher Selden, Johnny December in Belize. Johnny, I didn't get to look at that Belizean grove yet, but holy smokes, I'm going to. Ryan McEachern, welcome. David, Sony Music. Zamboni, bringing the data. FOMO index is down again to 50 in a state of market meh. Bitcoin dominance down to 48.3%. 24-hour volumes down to 33 billion. And the overall market cap is 1.2 trillion. Give or take 100 million. I think the market cap has been at 1.2 trillion, give or take 100 million all week. Venom Hacks Joseph Messina. Good morning from SoCal. How is SoCal? I had a buddy who grew up there. He liked it. She liked it, actually. I was saying he liked it, she liked it. It's another beautiful day here on planet Earth, a day none of us were guaranteed. We're not guaranteed these days. Yet we're lucky enough to have them anyway. It's kind of chilly here, but this is, see, I've said before, I love fall. And if this is what summer is in Winnipeg, I'm happy. But then again, I'm generally always pretty happy. I've been blessed with a happy factory. When I wake up, the happy factory goes on. I don't have to go and switch it on. It just goes on. And I was interested to see if Duke got that, my little boy Duke. And he did. But most babies, they wake up and they're happy. But yeah, I had some friends who had some babies who were kind of miserable. I always wondered, how do you bond with the kid when it's always crying and it's always kind of, annoying? Squeaky McGee, watching on the sly while at work at Long Island, Farmingdale, New York. Baseball and crypto. Derek Porter. Morning testosterone for men. Derek Porter, yes. I think, Derek, I've used a couple of your memes in my closing. I do believe. It's 73 degrees Fahrenheit here in South Jersey. Bobby, what is that in Celsius? 73. I'm going to guess it's 28. Derek Porter, I thought so. Yeah, it was me. It was me. Now, what has been going on? When I woke up, obviously the markets are exactly the same. 29.8 on the dot. We're basically clinging to the resistance level of that channel of eternal monotony. But people have been talking about the Bollinger Bands. And what are Bollinger Bands? Bollinger Bands are basically two moving averages that the way you would trade them is when price action hits the upper, call it the resistance and the support. So they just kind of go in and out and in and out. And now we're in, let's take a look at it actually. I think I got something here. Yeah. So you can see the Bollinger Bands right there is the first one. You can see it kind of constricting, although it's not really constricting. I'd say it's going the opposite way. But they're comparing it to right here, January 2023, where we saw a 40% gain because it broke out of the Bollinger Bands. Now, are they similar? Yeah, I guess. There's that one. There's that one. I mean, they're similar, but they're not anomalies. I mean, Bollinger Bands constrict and destrict. I don't know what the name is. But that's just what they do, right? So I guess you always have to remember that when Bollinger Bands constrict, well, they can go up or down. So we'll see. And do you feel like the market is, getting stronger? I don't know. I kind of feel like it's getting weaker. Like I said yesterday, the more we tap up, the less we're going to break. We got to break out of those ones, right? One or two. But when you're at 4 or 5, it just says it's just basically a brick wall of resistance. C-Rob, good news is the monotony won't be eternal soon. Expand or constrict. That's right, Terry Crow. So they constrict or expand, right? And that's just what they do. As price action moves up or down, it expands. As it channels in eternal monotony, it constricts. So that's where we are now. And I just don't feel like it's going anywhere soon, although we have DJ expired options on the 1s and 2s today. Now, in a bull market, the options expiring have a bigger play in the volatility because volatility is greater, right? So every little thing is amplified. But I think because we're in this channel of eternal monotony, maybe the expired options today might give it that knee-jerk, I don't know, bearish pull down. I'm feeling bearish pull down, but again, those are feelings, and who cares about my feelings, especially when it comes to trading? I mean, you can feel as bullish or bearish as you want. Doesn't mean it's time. And what is that? The gambler's fallacy. It's the odds are I'll eventually win. No. Even a 50-50 is 50% every single flip. You could do that 1,000,000 times, and every single flip, it's 50-50. Chris Danoff, you're in SoCal too. I have to say, a little bit envious of people in Southern California. In my mind, like from what I've gathered on news, it seems like California is having a weird time. I have some friends there that are from Winnipeg, and they're kind of in their own little world. But they're not in California. They're not in, like, say, Venice Beach or LA or wherever we think California is. They're kind of tucked away. They're not having the greatest time. But I don't know. How's SoCal treating you, Chris? Derek Porter from San Diego lived in LA for years in Ventura. Yeah, it's great, except government California. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm sure it's amazing. People are getting a low feed, eh? Interesting. 144p for me. 144p. Those are like the conspiracy theorist YouTube videos I used to watch 10 years ago that they shot on a handy cam in a Holiday Inn banquet room. Just a cowboy shot for like 6 hours. My girlfriend would go out. I'd be watching this. She'd come back and still be watching. 240p handheld handycam version of some guy talking in a Holiday Inn banquet room. Yeah, it's got to be your connection speed because I have to do a performance test here on mine in order for eCam to get it out. Derek Porter, I love San Diego. We played some gigs down there that were amazing. And there's a funny story about San Diego. It was a corporate gig, so we had all this time to do nothing. So when I got there, I just kind of walked around. We were like, I guess, in the downtown area, which just massive buildings. I'm walking, looking for something to eat. And out of nowhere, I see this hole in the ground restaurant. It says Ribs or something like that. Like we're talking skyscraper, massive building, event center, hole in the ground restaurant. I go in there and I'm looking around. I'm like, this looks familiar. And sure enough, it was the diner that they shot Top Gun, the 1984 classic Top Gun. Remember when they was playing Great Balls of Fire? That was the restaurant that I stumbled into. and I asked some people there. It was weird because it was like going back to the 90s or 80s, like crony city, just people drinking at the bar. That's it. And so I went up to the piano and like, ding, ding, ding. It was so heartbreakingly out of tune. I asked the bartender, I'm like, how come you let the piano go like that? And she's like, if it was in tune, guess how many people would be playing it? I'm like, yes, that makes total sense. So I guess they let it go severely out of tune. So if you're trying to play it, you sound bad. Little did I know then, that was about 10 years ago. Little did I know that 10 years later, I'd be playing Great Balls of Fire every Friday and Saturday night. And the weird part about Great Balls of Fire is that I never really learned it. We've all heard it. So people would request it, and I would just kind of, like shrug it off. Yeah, we'll get to it. And then I'm like, man, this is one song I should probably learn. And then one day I just started going at bum, 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 shake my nerves and you're right. It's only 3 chords, right? But to this day, if you're a Great Balls of Fire fan and you listen to me play it, you will realize I get all the words wrong. I don't even know what I'm saying. I pick my nose and I rattle my thumbs. I'm getting nervous, but it sure is fun. Come on, baby, driving me like that. That sounds like the real. I'm sure he doesn't say pick my nose. I should probably say something else. Touch me, baby. Ooh, feel. Anyway, I won't get into it right now. Let's take a look at these things. Some Twitter stuff here. This is why I made that shocker. We haven't actually experienced Bitcoin scarcity yet. If we had, you wouldn't be able to acquire 1 Bitcoin for roughly half of an American average annual salary. Diminishing returns is BS. 2021 was just a teaser for the rest of the decade. Well, where he's right is right here. So you see all these bull runs. We have supply going up. And now we have supply going down. We haven't seen that. So as much as the cliche of this time is different, well, this time is different. Now, will that kick in right away? I'm not sure. But I like to call this, it's like a divergence of sorts. It's like a supply shock, bullish divergence. Price action going up, demand going up, supply going down. Look at that. We've never seen that. Last one up, this one down. Never seen that before. So, I mean, I like to think, in my heartbreakingly optimistic outlook on Bitcoin, is that we'll have a perfect storm this bull run, and the institutional FOMO will come in with the BlackRocks and the Vanguards, and et cetera, et cetera. And supply shock will be finally realized, because if you've been in crypto long enough, you know that everyone kind of talks about the supply shock, right? But doesn't seem to kick in at all. Supply shock this, supply shock that. Well, nothing changes. It was one of those things that when it does changes, oh boy, is it going to change. Okay, let me see here. Get rid of that, get rid of that. What is this one here? Top 500 asset managers now manage 131 trillion. Like, is that even possible? 131 trillion, and now their boss, Larry Fink, our economic overlord, is turning bullish AF on Bitcoin. If just 1% of these assets move into Bitcoin, that's 1.3 trillion. If Bank of America is right and Bitcoin has a 1.1 to 118 multiple, this could mean $150 trillion Bitcoin. Hey, Michael Saylor, you're in the way here. Market cap, or a 7.3 million Bitcoin price. 7.3 million Bitcoin price. I probably should have put that in the poster or the thumbnail, whatever they call it. $7.3 million. See, that's such a fantastic number that I just don't think the world is ready for that. Because that would make this next tweet that I'll show you even more spectacular because, I'll show it to you actually. Why am I leaving this one? We've already dealt with it. Oh, not that one. See, I wish I had. Get rid of that. This one. Oh, Michael Sell, you're still in the way here. The goal used to be 6.15 Bitcoin. Wow. I wonder when that goal was. Maybe in circa 2009 to 13, maybe? Or 12. Today it's 1 Bitcoin. Makes sense. They talk about there being less than 1 million whole coiners. I find that kind of hard to believe. Less than 1 million whole coiners. But maybe. In a few years, it will be 0.1 Bitcoin. Okay, so that makes sense with an astronomical value of Bitcoin. Like with the 7.3 million, 0.1 would be an ideal amount of Bitcoin to have. That's why if you're just sitting at 0.1 now, well, you might not think it's a lot now, but in 5 years, people will be striving for 0.1 Bitcoin. That is a fact. 6.15 Bitcoin. I would like to have that much Bitcoin. My goal is to have Bitcoin for every one of my family. Like I told my neighbor the other day, everyone should have 1 Bitcoin. I mean, it's a little bit out of reach right now, but things can change. Who knows? But that would be my ideal thing. If that's the case, if everyone got 0.1 Bitcoin, I'd be pretty happy with that too. When I saw that DJ expired options, I'll go back to it here. This guy, 29.9, so we're up to 900. Wow. We're not even in the channel of eternal. Yeah, we are by 100, I guess. When I was looking at that, the nightclub I had called the Green Room, I had 4 partners. And I would bartend there on Thursdays and Saturdays, or Thursdays or Saturdays. And I was somewhat cynical of DJs, somewhat envious of DJs, because I was like old school throwback musician who actually played instruments and stuff like that. So I always kind of side-eyed the DJs, like, are you really doing anything? Are you just pressing buttons because dummies think that you're actually doing something? And so the way the bar was situated, I was behind the stage, kind of like on another level, so I could kind of look down and see what the DJs were doing. And much to my disappointment, the bigger name DJs that came in, like we had the Skrillex, we had the Matic. They were kind of big in the day. I don't know where they are now. They kind of disappeared. Skrillex is still probably pretty huge, but it was like before Skrillex was Skrillex. And these bigger name DJs that we'd have to pay lots of money for, like we'd lose money on the night for sure. We're talking like 10 grand for the night, and I'm sure they make $1 million now or something. Like the money that these DJs could earn was so crazy. I assume they can still do that now. So that's why I was kind of side-eyed, envious too. It's like, really? You just show up at a place that's packed and you just play an hour, the same thing that you always do? So my theory was that their set was programmed, and they just came up, put a thumbnail in the back of their whatever that program was called, can't remember it now, and just press the space bar. See, that's what I thought it was, Denny Kane. And I hate to break this to you, but the bigger the DJ with the more, whether maybe they had a song or two that people knew, it was thumbnail in the back of the decks, and they just press play, and of course they're sitting there pushing buttons, doing nothing. I mean, to anyone that doesn't know anything, it looks like they're maybe, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the mind of a nightclubber that doesn't know anything. Maybe they think that it's changing the actual sounds. Maybe they think they're making the sounds with the boom, with hitting the buttons. They're not. Now, historically, morning, Randy. Historically, let's see here. DJs, old school DJs, like playing on vinyl, they had to actually take out the bass. You know, when they're turning those knobs, those are bass and treble and mid. So what they would do is they would take out the bass as they mix the other song in. So you didn't have this kick that was boom, 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 boom. So this one didn't have a kick. This one did have a kick. You take out the bass, you mix it in, and then you put the bass back, and that's how they would mix those old school vinyls. Now they're not taking out the bass. They're not doing anything like that. These ones are. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's some fantastic DJs out there. I just haven't seen any. I've seen a couple. I liked Z-Trip. DJ Z-Trip? I could be getting that wrong. Oh, John Wick, all the way in Australia. Welcome. DJ Z-Trip, and he had a whole different way of DJing. It was like massive mashups, like constantly mashing up one or the other. And when you see videos of him, he actually has like what looks like it looks like the fusion grid on DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve has like, I want to say, a linear way of doing effects instead of stacking like Premiere. But he had all these, it looked like he was making a website or whatever. But again, at that point, I was the dummy. He's like, oh, that's how he's doing it. Maybe he just did that to confuse everybody. Plus, Captain Swanky Pants, you mean they aren't making music up there? Well, no. I mean, some of the bigger names, they actually produce. Hi, buddy. It's Friday. You ready to sing us out? I got a hat for you to wear too, because God knows you look better in all these hats than I do. Now, Duke got stung by Oh, hold on. Duke got stung by a wasp. We don't want to show off too much leg this early in the morning, buddy. Duke got stung by a wasp right on his head, because there's a massive wasp nest there. So I had to get a bunch of wasp spray, and I forgot that, they might get mad if you spray those wasp nests. So I just sprayed it. I'm looking at it. And then it was like they sent out a beacon. It was like, alert, alert. And they all came storming, and I had run through the back door. So anyway, today is Friday, and of course it's a live piano stream tonight at 9:30. If you can join Kyle and I, that'd be fantastic. Hey, maybe we'll even play Great Balls of Fire for you. I know everyone that's on the stream, the OG boutique community, I'm sure they're sick of us playing Great Balls of Fire, but you have to remember, the people that are there live, they're there like, please, Duke.
I want.
They're like they're going to a circus, so they want to hear Sweet Caroline, Tiny Dancer, Great Balls of Fire ad nauseum. That's okay. I'll play anything that anybody likes anytime. I don't care. Crypto Code 88, Great Balls of Fire is a classic. Brad Beckham, I will request Great Balls of Fire. Yes. Storm Chasing Video, I looked up that Rush thing. That's not going to happen. That's like a 9-minute instrumental, that Santiago or whatever it was. I was like, maybe I could do it. I'm like, no, there's no way I could, especially with the drums. It's got the quintessential Neil Peart, like 7/8, 5/4s. Mad Faded Baby, I like your original songs the best. Thanks, I appreciate that. Don't get me wrong, I love playing the originals. I feel like I'm torn, because when someone in the boutique community requests an original, all I want to do is play it. Sometimes the timing of it, it's like you got the live crowd that are, hey, where's Great Balls of Fire? And then when someone requests FOMO in at the top, I'd rather play FOMO in at the top than Great Balls of Fire any day. But sometimes there's a place, so I try to squeeze them in. Anyway, I'm going along here. So, Doug, they want to know if you're bullish or bearish.
Is the price gonna? So what is the price gonna go up?
Do you think price action is going to go up or down this weekend after this channel of eternal monotony? Up? So you're bullish.
Yeah, bullish.
Okay, well, let's sing the good people out. I hope everyone, if I don't see you this weekend on the live stream, have a great weekend. Hopefully Monday morning we can actually do a video. Maybe there'll be some moving.
We're playing the same game as our psychopathic elected elites. That's right, it's a long game. So zoom out and have a fantastic day. I won the banks, the booms bank, Bitcoin, crypto, money, yay!
Have a good day, everybody. Take care. Thanks for tuning in.
Make sure you like and subscribe.